Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ediliola Igbekele. I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, a life coach. I love to help people, teachers in particular, live the best that they could as a teacher. Growing up, always seen teachers as kind. Can there be more to this? You see other profession, you see how they are elegant, how they do their things, and I feel like teachers should be able to get better, do better with whatever thing they do. And so life happened, not life happened actually, purposefully. I studied education, English education. Then during the years of practice, I and then through the course of study and reading, I discovered that everything hinges on the leadership. Once the leadership is right, honestly, the whole system will align. I work with a set of people that have different, varying leadership skills, and I begin to study them in those early years. I begin to take admiration, begin to take lessons, begin to see what are their weaknesses, what are their area of strength. Then I begin to make personal research, do study, take coaches, take classes on how to help you improve on who you are as a teacher. So today, one of the things that struck me, teachers we easily get burnout. We get worn out so easily. We lose almost everything within us, especially the ones that are passionate about what they are doing. You see that they come home tired, they get home weak, they can't do anything for themselves. Nobody around them is even enjoying their their livelihood, their resources as it should be. So today I want us to talk about work-life balance as an educator. How can you juggle your work and get an even between your work as a teacher and your life outside teaching, outside the school, outside the classroom? How can you balance it? What is work life balance? Work life balance is the evenness between your work and your other roles in life. Creating enough time for your work and enough time to accommodate your other responsibility. You are not born a teacher. You were first of all a child, probably a husband to somebody, or a wife to somebody, or a brother or a sister. You have a friend, you work in a community, you belong to a religious group. All of these areas of life need your attention, crave your attention. So it is important that as you give time to your teaching, you also give time to these areas of life. Because at the end of the day, when you leave the classroom, when you leave the school, you are coming back to this community. So if you are not well integrated in the community that you are, you will be out of place eventually. You will lose out eventually. So today, I want to help talk about how can you create a balance between your work life and your other responsibilities. Now, stress, stress is very, very common among teachers. We are stressed out, we are burned out, and the school management, the school administrator need to take this as a priority. The workload, you have to consider it. You have to, when you are assigning responsibilities, you have to look at all these areas. That's why you must connect one way or the other with your teachers, with your staff, to know those ones that have a demanding, overly demanding life outside, especially family demand outside your work. So when you are assigning responsibility, putting people in committees and all that, look at this vis-a-vis your placement. Because if you are not careful, your school, your students will reap the effects. You will have situations whereby teachers fall out among themselves or lash out among students or have a rancor with parents, not because the teachers don't want to be civil or do things better, but because they are stressed and they are human. Therefore, they will just lash it out and just explode for only God knows why. So, you as an administrator, as a school administrator, make sure you have this consciousness when you are signing, when you are doing placement into committee, giving responsibilities. Yes, this is not me trying to say you should not get people involved. No. But when you are given this responsibility and even your timing of meeting, make sure it is flexible enough to accommodate, to put into consideration the other lives of this teacher, like engaging them on a weekend for heaven's sake. I think it is out of place or too much, especially when the frequency is getting too much. Every Saturday, your teacher had to be present in school because they are working for you, because you are paying them. Don't they have life outside? Leave the weekends for them to integrate, attend to themselves, get freshened up, get refreshed, because it is a refreshed mind that would come back to help your student. When the teacher is not mentally or physically stable, how do he or she deliver? And if she does not deliver, your student suffers for it, your school in return suffers. So it is very expedient for you as an educator to make sure that you improve, you help your student, help your teachers to do the needful. While the administrator is helping you as a teacher, what can you do? One way to help work-life balance is number one, make sure you check your emotions. Positivity has a long way to help you release or reduce stress. Instead of complaining about everything, how about you break down your tasks into bits and celebrate your wins? This work is too much. Am I the only one? It's okay, the work is already given to you. Sit back, break it down in bits. Every bit accomplished, celebrate. Give yourself a thumbs up. Give yourself a kudos for achieving that. So check your emotions. Most of the times we get weighed down, we get depressed, we get dejected because our emotion, the negativity is taking a toll on us. So you want to first of all check your emotions. How positive are you towards your work? Be happy doing whatever thing you are doing. Whatever thing you do joyously, whatever thing you do with happiness, you do it much more easier and accomplish much more success than those that you do complaining. Yes, I'm a teacher, I said it earlier, and I know that teachers complain a lot. We do complain a lot. So, as a teacher, check your emotions. Anytime you find yourself on the toe of negativity, take a pause, take a deep breath, rethink. There is always a positive side to every situation you find yourself. Instead of complaining, am I the only one? Why are they all listening to me? Tell yourself, I'm good enough for the job. That's why they are calling on me. Break your task into bits. If nobody is celebrating you, nobody is even appreciating me, appreciate yourself. Check your emotions. That's number one. Number two, you might want to do a thorough, a holistic self-assessment. And what do I mean by this? How do you do your thing? How often do you finish your tasks? Do you procrastinate? Can you assume most of the time at work? What consume most of your time at work? Do you procrastinate? Test scripts are to be turned in first week, test administer second week. Instead of you to mark it immediately, get it over and done with, do you leave it on your desk and wait till the end of the third week before you start marking, and all the activity that are supposed to be done in the third week are added on top of that? Do you procrastinate? Because if you procrastinate, it's going to give you stress, which is going to strain your work-life balance. How often do you finish your task? You've been assigned a work to do you finish it in good time? If you don't finish it in good time, do the admin or the manager have to caution or talk to you? Do they reprimand you often or make you do that work outside of the time? All of this can strain the cord between your work and your life. Because if you are made to do that which you ought to have done prior to that time, it will be taking the time you need to bond with your children, taking the time you need to attend to probably a religious activity, taking the time that you need to attend to some other social or community gathering that also demands your attention. So you might want to consider yourself. Do a thorough, holistic assessment of who you are. Number 3, you might want to map out your week. Create your activity. How do you now think about the timetable you run with in school? That is mapping. The administrator saw the need, the necessity for timetable. You can apply that to your life as a teacher. Map out your strategy, map out your work, map out the week, the activities for the week. Identify the days of the week that are overwhelming. When your Wednesday is too choked up, overwhelmed, don't put activities for other areas of life on Wednesday. Put it to another day. Identify the days you are less busy. You incorporate your other hobbies into it. Map out your time. Because it's your life, is your activity, you can use the early hours for meditation, for exercising. You can use the late hours to bond with your family, have a family dinner. Map out your activity. Have a timetable. Create a time for yourself, for your activity. Which days of the day of the week gives you the opportunity to connect with other areas of your life? Saturdays, connect with your friend. Have a social life. Attend to your religious activities on days that are free. Because prior to your self-assessment, you've been able to ascertain which areas of your life you are lacking. Do you procrastinate? Instead of you having time for social gathering on Saturdays, you have to bring the workload that you ought to have done home on Saturday and sit with it. Your friends are calling, your families are calling, I'm busy, is work, is this. No. Create time. Have a timetable for everything. Do the things at the right time. That way you'll be able to have a seamless transaction between your work and your life. Then the last one I'll be talking on today. Learn to delegate. Delegation. Don't insist on wanting to do everything by yourself. I, for one, am not good at drawing anything that has to do with graphics. So when it is time for me to have things that need graphical works, I can do the skeletal work, the write-up in it, and see a colleague that is very good at graphics. So can I push it to him? Please help me do this. That will save me 1 or 2 hours to attend to a call for my coaching, attend to calls for my business, other side hustles. Give delegation. The bookshelf in your class is there unarranged. Delegate. Look for a strong, mature student in your class. Say, arrange this column, let me see how you do it. While the child is arranging, sit back and attend to 1 or 2 markings. Delegate duties. So when you do this, you delegate duties, you map out your week, Look for the days you are less busy, the days that are free, the days you are overwhelmed, the days your activities, place them. Then you might want to consider your self-assessments. Who you are. How often do you finish your tasks? Do you procrastinate? Then you might want to check your emotion. Positivity is very, very important. Thank you.